honor of a lifetime. I think any young person, any little girl, you get to put on a Disney princess dress and be her for a day, let alone 6 months of shooting in London on these incredible sets in a Sandy Powell designed dress. It's just been the most amazing experience, and I can't wait to share it with you all.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There is a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. So we didn't do that this time.
We don't just sit around and say, yeah, we grew up watching this movie called Snow White, and all of a sudden you show up, and we have to eliminate all the memories of these young girls who grew up wanting to have an experience like that?
It's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut, who knows?
Now listen, if Disney wants to make more woke films that tank at the box office, they are more than welcome to do that, but maybe think of an original idea. Maybe not destroy a classic from my childhood and put an actress in there that not only hates the plot and the storyline of the movie she's in, but also seemingly hates Snow White, the character herself.
It's like I'm standing there waiting for the photo op, being like,
well, you kind of are, you know?
no, I can't. I'm a really big Disney fan. I grew up at the Disney parks. My parents took me every summer. It's like, it's a part of my upbringing. It's my favorite thing, so. I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Never revisited Snow White again. I'm a narcissist.
I mean, talk about biting the hand that feeds you. Not only are you being casted in a classic film to remake it, but you don't seemingly like your own character. So she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat, and that's why people are so annoyed. Why do you have to mess with a classic, especially with someone who doesn't even seem to like her own character?
Rachel Zegler's name has recently drawn significant attention, sparking a wide range of emotions and opinions, particularly due to her mesmerizing performance as Maria in Steven Spielberg's adaptation of West Side Story. Her rapid ascent to fame seemed almost meteoric, but as the saying goes, with great fame comes great scrutiny. This scrutiny intensified when Zegler found herself at the center of a digital storm due to her upcoming portrayal of Snow White in a rendition by the Daily Wire. What followed was a cascade of reactions as Rachel Zegler faced a wave of controversy, leaving observers and commentators captivated. Disney's recent casting choice for Snow White, Rachel Zegler, became the focal point of criticism on social media platforms. Matt Walsh, a host at the Daily Wire, along with others, amplified these voices of dissent after Zegler expressed her critiques of the original film in a resurfaced video. In this video, she controversially referred to the prince as stalker-esque. The ensuing debate over Zegler's candid opinions on the classic film has continued to fuel intense online discussions. Offering insight into her perspective, Zegler explained that the original animation, a product of 1937, heavily focused on a romance with a character who blatantly follows her. She added, "We chose a different path this time." In response, Walsh took to social media, telling his 4 million followers that Disney seems to be employing a unique promotional strategy where their new Snow White criticizes the original. Conservative commentator Dana Loesch humorously suggested that perhaps there's no Prince Charming because Snow White's attitude would make him prefer she stayed asleep. Red State's editor, Brandon Morse, succinctly remarked, "A Disney actor dismantling Disney's heritage." These events have undoubtedly thrust Rachel Zegler into a whirlwind, yet she remains unreserved in sharing her opinions. The controversy escalated when influential Hollywood studios began sidelining her, retracting significant roles. Notably, Disney chose not to invite her to the 2024 premiere of Snow White, but the saga doesn't end there. The Daily Wire, an emerging contender, is preparing to release their version titled Snow White and the Evil Queen, with Brett Cooper in the lead role. This development has seemingly intensified Zegler's discontent, leading to a prolonged dispute. What adds another layer of intrigue is the Daily Wire's approach to Snow White. They are committed to presenting what they describe as an authentic and truthful adaptation, staying true to the traditional depictions of Snow White and the Evil Queen. Jeremy Boring, co-founder of the Daily Wire, stated, "Disney took a century to become what it is today. While we recognize our current standing isn't on par with today's Disney, we aspire to someday emulate what they epitomized in their early days, a pioneering studio with grand visions and the courage to pursue them." Boring further commented that although Disney still carries Walt's name, they appear to have drifted from his foundational principles. Benj, the children's entertainment subsidiary of the Daily Wire, is set to launch its first live-action film. While there is no official release date, a teaser indicates that the movie is in the works and will be hitting theaters soon. In a statement, the company alluded to the House of Mouse, a colloquial term for Disney, noting that this project comes amid a turbulent time for Disney as Rachel Zegler, the lead of its live-action Snow White, voices criticism of the timeless narrative. Initially, there was skepticism among conservatives about casting Zegler, a Latina sensation from West Side Story, in a role traditionally depicted with skin as white as snow, according to the Brothers Grimm. Further controversy arose when the Seven Dwarfs, key characters in the original story, were transformed into a diverse ensemble of mystical beings of varying sizes and genders. Tensions heightened when remarks Zegler made a year earlier resurfaced during the warmer months, hinting at a reimagined narrative direction for the beloved character. These changes have become a hot topic of discussion. Currently, Rachel Zegler is confronting the ongoing Snow White controversy head-on. She is frustrated with the debates over character racial transitions, and interestingly, Disney appears to have sanctioned her to champion their decisions during media engagements. The narrative continues to evolve, promising more revelations in the coming days. Despite being excluded from the premiere, Zegler has managed to convince Disney to allow her to share her views on digital platforms like Twitter and YouTube. Her primary target? The Daily Wire, Brett Cooper, and their interpretation of Snow White. Surprisingly, Disney has given the green light for this, seemingly viewing the Daily Wire's Snow White not just as competition, but as a potential threat to their artistic vision, with possible implications for their revenue. Zegler's evident animosity toward the Brett Cooper-led Snow White, coupled with internal Disney dynamics, is causing ripples throughout the industry. This cinematic face-off has captured the attention of movie enthusiasts worldwide. Rachel Zegler is not known for her tolerance of criticism, especially in situations like this. Meanwhile, the Daily Wire is reveling in the situation, openly mocking and teasing Disney's Snow White, the very film in which Zegler plays the lead role. As we look ahead to next year, imagine this scenario: an epic showdown between the Daily Wire's Snow White and the Evil Queen and Disney's rendition of Snow White, a battle of narrative giants. It's a topic on everyone's lips. Zegler is on the brink of launching a unique promotional campaign, planning to wear t-shirts promoting her version of Snow White, which features a racial character switch. But there's more beneath the surface. Tensions are rising for Zegler and her team. It appears that Disney is backing her stance against the Daily Wire's interpretation, positioning Zegler as their chief advocate. Interestingly, the promotional t-shirts she and her team plan to wear have Disney's endorsement, adding another layer of complexity. Disney is also in intense discussions with Comedy Central about an upcoming South Park episode that they aren't too pleased about, especially since it humorously tackles the concept of racial and gender swaps in Snow White. On the other hand, the Daily Wire's Snow White emphasizes fidelity to the original narrative, and they are strongly encouraging audiences to watch their adaptation over what they label as Disney's travesty. The creative and ethical clash between these versions is thickening with each passing moment. The premiere of Snow White and the Evil Queen is scheduled for 2024, while Disney's Snow White is set to hit theaters on March 22, 2024. Disney has remained silent about the Daily Wire's venture, but as the cinematic face-off unfolds, Zegler's responses to the evolving situation underscore her difficulty in addressing criticism or any opinions about Disney's reimagining of these iconic figures. It's important to remember that Snow White's legacy predates even Disney's prominence, with its roots in ancient tales like those of the Brothers Grimm and German folklore. Rachel Zegler seems to be bracing herself for a wave of passionate commentary, but the drama is far from over, promising a riveting spectacle. Vocal Disney fans have taken to the internet to share their thoughts. One tweet from a dedicated viewer read, "The widespread discontent with Rachel Zegler and Snow White shows that not only conservatives but a broader audience are tired of the overused strong female lead narrative. It's been done to death, and audiences are craving something new." And there you have it, dear viewers. Thank you for your time and attention.